Welcome back to the Even If podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Kenzie. And even if something is missing, you can be the one to go create it.
How are you? How was your week?
My week was good.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know. Because I just love you. No, my week actually, March is going much better than February.
Okay, good.
It's I love a new month. My word of, you want to know my word of the month?
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I don't even think we've talked about this yet.
No, we haven't. Because I actually was going to message you. You posted on Instagram encouraging people, but I don't think you told us what your word was.
I didn't tell anyone what
my
word
hello.
was. So I'm like, it's secret.
Okay.
No, my word of the month is explore. And it actually came from having a really rough Thursday. And my girls in my Bible study that night were like, just really encouraging me, praying over me, and just saying, hey, Ken, try some stuff on this month. Like, just try some stuff on, see what fits, see what you like. And I was like, you know what? I am going to explore this month and just explore some things.
Explore some dating opportunities. Explore some business things.
Yeah, some business things for sure.
Some friendships. I don't know. I'm speaking all this.
No, girl, you are.
Who knows?
Yeah, Who knows? All of the above. No, but truly, like, it has been a really sweet week. I actually, I didn't talk about this when I was going through it, and actually very few people know, but I fasted all month of February. And so I'd never done a biblical fast before. I did it with my church, and I had never done anything like that before. And it was really, it was tough.
Yeah.
It was like very tough physically. I fasted food during the day and then had dinner at night. And it was just there's a ton of spiritual warfare. And I felt very discouraged at the end of the fast because I was just like hands up in the air being like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Lord?
Yeah.
But since then, like already I'm just seeing fruit. And even if none of this fruit is gonna pan out or, be an answer to some of these prayers, it's been so sweet. And then with that, my word of the month is explore, and it suits where I'm at. And I'm sure I'll share more down the road. But yeah, March has been good.
I love
It's been
that.
really good. So, do you have a word for the month?
I'm looking something up because I remember last March, my word of the month, it's in Deuteronomy, and it was something about how he is marching ahead of us.
What?
And I used that. Okay, here, Deuteronomy 31:8. The Lord is the one who goes ahead of you. He will be with you. He will not fail you or forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed. But there's another version that says the Lord is marching ahead of you.
Ooh, I like that.
And I thought that's cool for March.
That's so cool. The Lord is marching ahead of you. I love
So
that.
anyways, I don't know my word yet. I actually was in Bible study the other night and talking to my girls about it, and they had asked me, and it was after I had just told them, like, I'm sort of honestly sick of praying the same thing, of just asking the Lord to bring me a husband. I just feel like tired of it.
Yeah.
And I just feel like sometimes, if I'm being honest, I stop praying about it because I'm just like, he knows.
Yeah.
And then I was reading the story in the Bible about the persistent widow who just kept praying, and how this judge finally gave her what she wanted. And then at the end it says, how much more will God give to his elect, to those who he loves? And I just think I felt so convicted of wanting to pray more and being more persistent. And so then I was like, maybe my word's persistent. And then one of my girls was talking about how she just prays for me all the time. She was like, I pray for you and your husband all the time.
Wow.
First of all, that just wrecked me. I was
really?
bawling.
Wow.
And she was like, I am pleading with God.
Wow.
And I just thought, ooh, plead.
Pleading.
So I feel like I've been sitting with like plead or persist.
I love
like
that.
Persistent, and just like being real with the Lord and being like, here I am again.
Asking for the same thing.
But just knowing he wants us to do that.
Yeah, he
and
does.
So
I get asked this question. I'm curious how you do it. How do you pray for your husband? Like, what do you say to God?
That's a great question. I think it's changed throughout the years, right?
Yeah.
When I was younger, it's like, he better be really rich, tall, dark, and handsome. And yeah, I think the older I am and the more I know what really matters, I just pray he's walking with the Lord. I pray that he is being guided by good godly mentors, that he's surrounded by friendship, that he is hopefully having eyes to look for me. And like, I pray that he'll come soon. I pray that I see him soon. I pray for protection over his heart, over his mind. I think it just depends.
Yeah,
like,
I love that.
I remember one time I was just doodling in my journal and I drew like a stick figure. And then I was just like thinking about a husband, you know, like a boy, anyone, just whoever it might be. And I was like, oh, Lord, I pray for his head. I pray for whatever he's thinking, and pray for his headspace. And then I'm moving down. I pray for his back. Give him a strong back. Make him a man who has a strong back and isn't afraid of things. And I'm like looking at his stick figure arms. I'm like, I pray for his arms. Give him strength and let him be like physically strong, because that's hot. And also just like, let him be strong and have a man of strength. Yeah. And then his body and like what he eats, God, protect his body, and just like moving all the way down and protect his toes and his feet and where he's walking. And, and then sometimes I'm literally just like, Lord, I pray for a husband. Can you bring him by soon?
XOXO.
Yeah. It's me again. It's Sarah. Remember me?
I had a thought today and I was just like, how cool it's going to be when, if we're still doing this podcast or however, you know, whatever ways that you get to share with all the people, obviously specifically the ones that have been praying for you and the day you're going to call me and tell me da-da-da, but just how cool and what a story he's creating with just this waiting period. I hate the word wait. I don't want the negative connotation to it, because it's not, waiting is not a bad thing, but just like, oh my gosh, the glory that he's going to receive.
Yeah. No,
when
I know.
When your man shows up.
There's a reason. I was talking to my brother about that on the phone this morning, actually. Talking about like, would you go back and do everything the same? And how people are always like, oh, I would never go back. Like, you know, it made me who I am. And it's like, yeah, kind of. And also, no, I wouldn't want to go through this again. But also, yeah, like I am who I am because of what I've went through. And it is shaping us, and we're in it. Like talking about singleness and waiting, we're in it. Yep. So sometimes it's hard to totally see. Yeah. I mean, I can see the Lord moving in some things, but then you're just like, it's hard to fully see what he's doing. But you're right. It'll be cool. It'll
be really cool.
Cool to see what that looks like.
It's going to be so cool. I can't wait.
Okay. I have to ask you this question.
Okay. I can't wait. I'm sitting on my clammy.
You're nervous?
Yeah, a little.
That's just stupid.
I can't wait.
So my roommate Aubrey and I were talking about this. Well, no, she just came up to me one day and was like, I have a question for you. I said, okay. She's like, so when you're thinking to yourself, do you address yourself as I or as we?
Ooh. Like when I'm thinking, when I'm thinking like what I need to do next, like I need to grab my keys and get like, or no, I think I address myself as I.
Okay.
I got to grab this. Sometimes I like address myself in third person, maybe like call myself, like when I do something stupid, I'm like, Kenz, come on, get it together. Like get together, wake up, let's go. Like, you know, or
do you say that, like you hear that in your head?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like, I also talk a lot to myself.
Okay.
In the car. A lot of times, like I kind of like pretend I'm in this. This is so weird. People are gonna think I'm the actually quackiest person ever. But a lot of times, like if for example, my word is explore. So this month I'm trying things on. So I'm like actually having conversations with friends and family about specific details, about things that I'm kind of just definitely things I'm praying through and thinking through. But then I'm recently putting myself in that situation and talking as if I'm doing that and seeing how that feels, if that makes sense.
Okay,
so like if I'm trying to, like, for example, I have this really cool new business idea that I like really want to try. And my brother's been encouraging me for like a year to start it. So I'm like kind of just in the car, like talking out loud, envisioning this life and starting this thing. So we'll do that a lot.
Okay.
But I definitely just say I think, or maybe even neither. But I know sometimes when I'm just like being lazy or being an idiot, it's like, Kenz, come on, get up.
Okay.
Or Kenz, come on.
This is interesting insight.
What do you do?
I've been asking everybody all week. I
I'm
don't
gonna
have an
think
inner
about
dialogue.
this. You don't?
No.
Wait.
I don't think I think.
What?
I don't know.
No.
I'm still trying to figure this out.
Wait.
I talked to my parents about it. I've talked to my friends.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I had my cousins over the other night.
No way.
Jesse and Maddie, and I was like talking to them, and Maddie was like, "Oh, my mind is like an antelope. Like it's just going back and forth. There's always something going on." And then my cousin Jesse, he was like, I don't think I'm thinking much. I kind of just will do something."
Wait.
And I'm like, me too.
Wait, what? You don't think like
I don't think I'm thinking. Like I don't have like an inner dialogue, or I don't have. And Aubrey, when she first asked me this question, she was like, "You don't always have thoughts in your head."
Wait, yeah, no, I'm shook right now because doesn't every
weird.
girl
No,
always?
that's
I think
what
about
she said too.
I think about like honestly, I think about like 6 things, and once it takes me, I have to be so focused when I'm working because I will do 4 things at one time.
Do you like background noise? Like, do you have music on and TV?
Usually music when so if I'm really focusing on emails, strategy, marketing stuff where I like really want to be precise, no music, I can't have distraction.
Okay.
But if I am doing more creative work or just kind of like, especially when I'm cleaning or doing something that's like maybe not as serious, music for sure. But like if I'm listening to a podcast and I'm I can't do that and working because I have to constantly rewind it back. But I am constantly, my brain is in motion now. It's gotten a lot better because I really feel like I've worked through my anxiety that I had when I was in high school.
I don't think it's a right or wrong thing. I think it's just how we're wired.
No, that's like you're like a dude.
I know. What?
No, like a good, but like guys are just simple. Like
that's what I thought too. Like guys don't think, and girls are always like, "What are you thinking?" And he's like, "Nothing."
That's like you.
And I'm
you're like not
sometimes
thinking.
I'm like not thinking anything. But I was talking to my mom and dad about that, and they're like opposite. My mom sometimes is thinking nothing, and my dad is like, "Oh, I always am thinking about a bunch of things." And then I asked somebody at the school I work at, like the head strength coach, I was like, "Do you have?" I'm truly asking everybody. I was like, "Do you have thoughts?" And he was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "My thoughts are in numbers. Like I look over and I see a 30-pound dumbbell, and so then I'm like, how do I make 30? And I'm looking, and I see a 15 plus 15. I'm like, that makes 30. And I'm just, I see in numbers, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that's not me either.
So you just like,
I just think I'm blank slate up in there. But here's the problem is when I start talking, then I'm like, oh, here's the thoughts, and then I'm just
maybe you're just a very verbal processor.
I am.
Until you are like I'm both. I can internally process but I'm more internal than verbal.
Maybe that's why I love journaling, because it's like I'm 100%. Actually thinking and I'm writing stuff out.
Yeah.
And
wow.
I don't know.
I love that for you.
I don't know.
I really do love that for you.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a good thing.
Because then you're chilling.
I don't think. I don't know.
No, you're just chilling.
Anyways,
that's cool.
I
just learned something new about you. That's really cool. I did not know that.
Me either. I didn't know that nobody else.
Now you know I talk to myself in my car.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, no, I'm a quack.
Okay, so this episode we are talking about if something is missing, create it.
Love.
So on this episode, we're going to talk through the questions of: have you ever felt like there's something missing in your life, your work, or your community? And what if that missing piece is something only you can create? And even just talking about like the power of noticing what's missing and being aware of, is there something missing?
Yeah.
Recognizing the gaps. Where's the gap?
Yeah.
Talking about how noticing gaps or areas where something is missing is the first step to then creating something.
And I think if you think about any business is essentially they're providing a solution to somebody's problem. And like one of the businesses I always refer back to is Jessica Alba. She's like obviously a successful actress, but she became like, I don't know if she's a billionaire now, but like a multimillionaire from the fact that her kid had this like crazy allergy to what was in diapers and all the like diaper balm, all these things. She created this line that like essentially is an organic diaper line, and then that grew into like a beauty line and all these things. So she found a solution to her problem.
Yep.
I kind of want to start this off by just saying, like, to you, Sarah, like, what are some areas that you've noticed a gap or something missing in your life or in your life around you?
Yeah. Well, I guess I can think from the past, let's see, like 5 years or so. I think that's how my coaching business started, was me realizing how important it was to have older women speak into my life and having mentorship and guidance and coaching, and just seeing kind of a lack of that in a lot of the girls that I was interacting with in the younger generation, and just thinking, gosh, I hear so many girls saying like, what do I do? Or how do I do this? Or I'm so stuck, or, you know, and then just this whole social media pandemic of Snapchat and Instagram and TikTok and everything, and just feeling like we need guidance. We all need guidance from somebody a couple steps ahead of us.
Yeah.
And so I felt like there was there was something missing there. There was a gap. And I felt like that was something that the Lord had put on my heart. And I was like, I want to step into this gap and be somebody to help one person, 10, 1,500, I don't know, however many girls the Lord allows me to help fill that gap. So I think that's how my life coaching business started. I think when I moved to Charleston, I remember working at a gym there and feeling like there were such amazing girls in that gym, but we would see each other in passing after workouts or in classes, and just feeling like, I know that these girls love the Lord, and I know that there's some of these girls who would love to go deeper outside of the gym. And we all kind of weren't connected at a church. And I thought, we are all so hungry for more Jesus, and we don't know how to get it. I'm going to start a Bible study. And so I texted a group of 6 or 7 girls, and just was like, hey, Bible study Sunday afternoon at the picnic tables.
Love.
And we started doing it, and it was so fruitful. And those girls are some of my favorite girls. And they literally message me weekly when they listen to my podcast. So hi girls.
That's so precious.
They're so sweet.
I love that.
And then, I think most recently, one that I kind of touched on last week, I was talking about something I was really excited to start. And I had been praying about it for a while, something the Lord had on my heart. And I just officially launched and had my first Park 1230.
Yeah, you did.
Which is, again, an area I felt a gap. Something missing was something I hear so often in this area in Franklin, Tennessee. People who are our age, late 20s, 30s, and feeling a lack of community. And I think community can look like a lot of different things, of people to do stuff with, people to hang out with, people to talk about Jesus with, just community to do life with. And I think the church does a really good job of that. And sometimes it's like, how do we do that outside of the church too? And so anyways, I think I had just kept hearing that over and over from girls and guys too. Honestly, I had a guy message me one time, and he said that there's a bunch of guys who play pickleball together, but they need some girls. They don't know any. And I was like, I got you.
Yeah, I love that.
And so anyways, I just had I got all these people. I think I had ended up getting 20 people on this list. And I was like, something needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I wish there was something that people could do to be together. And I'm like, oh my gosh, something's missing. I should create it.
Yep.
And so that's how Park 1230 started. I was like, and I think this is the hard thing, which I'm sure we'll get into more later, but I had so many big dreams of what it could be that it almost stopped me from starting it, because I was like, well, I want it to look like this and do this and be like this. And because it's not going to be that great or that big at first, it almost makes me not want to do it. But I had to simplify it and say, what is something that's tangible right now? What is something I can do right now? I can meet at a park. It's free. Tell them it's at 12:30. Easy. Pick a day of the week. Sundays.
Yeah.
Okay. And literally that's it. That's what I started. I said, hey, y'all, all of you who are listening, who are in the area in Franklin, if y'all are looking for community, come to the park at 12:30 on Sunday, and I'll be there. Kenzie will be there. She was there last week on the first one.
I loved it.
You're coming to the next,
I'm
right?
coming. Yeah. I'll be there.
And it's just a great way to connect. Follow Park 1230. What's it called? Park 1230 Club.
Yeah, Park 1230 Club. Oh, I'm so proud of you. And just to touch on that too, like, it is so, everyone needs that person in their life that just does things, and you are that for so many people. Like, you see a need and you're just like, you go to it. Whether, you know, you've been there for me, like when I need you just as a friend, as a girlfriend. But this is such a good idea. And if you're listening and you're not in Nashville or Franklin and you're like in a city, like you should do something like what Sarah's doing and get everyone together and wrangle it and just see what can come. 'Cause it's so cool. You should tell the listeners too about your word invite.
Oh, from February?
Yeah. And how this like is in line with that. 'Cause it's really cool.
Okay. So my word of the month for February was invite. And I had been praying about what my word was. And I just kind of kept feeling like there's things I talk about that honestly, again, it was about singleness and just feeling like I talk about it or I'm thinking about it, but what am I doing about it? And I was reading a book, and I just felt like in this book, it was Hind's feet in high places. I think I've talked about it on the podcast before, but it was just talking about how we as believers, we are the sheep. We should invite our shepherd into things with us, invite him in. And I just thought, I want to invite Jesus more into the things I'm doing instead of just being like, oh, I hope it happens, or talking to my friends about it, or dreaming about one day if I have kids, but truly inviting Jesus in. Because sometimes he's just right there. He's right outside the window. And I'm like, oh, where is he? Why isn't he doing anything? And it's like, it says in Matthew, ask, seek, and knock. And I'm like, okay, I just need to invite him in and be like, hey, Jesus, I need you. I want you. I'm inviting you into this. So that was the reason I picked that word. And then so cool how God works. And that was my word of the month. And as a result, I look back and I'm like, wow, I didn't know that he was going to use that to also help me give the vision of inviting people into this Park 1230 community, which at the beginning of February, I knew that there was a need. I knew that there was a gap of community for people our age, but I had no idea that I would start something, launch it, do it, and it would be an invitation for other people to be a part of something when that was my word of the month too. So that was super cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Thanks for remembering that.
Of course, girl.
Anyways, okay. I've talked so much enough about me.
No, I love it.
You tell me, same question back to you. Like what are some areas that you noticed a gap or things missing in your life?
Yeah. I mean, the first one obviously that comes to mind is full ride. I fell in love with spin when I was 22. I had just graduated college, 3 knee surgeries, went to SoulCycle, and there's a whole story in and of itself, probably a whole nother podcast. But when I moved to Nashville, I had this like dream of, could I ever be a cycle instructor? Like it was that BHAG goal. We talk about the big, hairy, audacious goal. And I was so introverted and shy. I just like almost just wanted to try and do it. So became a cycle instructor at a studio in Nashville. They're actually no longer here anymore, but fell in love with it. And then felt like there was a need for a community that was just different than the one that the studio brought to the city. And I'm from my dad's an entrepreneur, my brother's an entrepreneur. I always knew I wanted to run my own business, and the need was like making people feel really, really known. And I actually have it tattooed on my arm from Tim Keller. It's like fully known and truly loved, that verse.
I love that.
Not verse. Tim Keller's basically should be in. No, I'm kidding. Like, can we add a chapter of Tim Keller in the Bible, please?
Is that what First Timothy is? Is it Tim Keller?
Is it Tim Keller? Come on.
That's so sacrilegious.
That verse. Goodness, I know. I'm so sorry. I did not mean that.
No, it's hilarious.
And so that's how Full Ride was born, was just this like crazy idea. I was 27. I had no clue what I was doing, but I felt this need, and I personally needed it. Like it was like I was experiencing that need. I felt that right after college. I was really sad and alone, and there was something about moving a bike, and there's something about being able to be a part of something where you are with like-minded people. And obviously if you're at a spin studio, you like fitness, and it just grew and evolved, and here we are almost 7 years later. So that would be like a key one. And similar to you too, like I actually was really inspired by my best friend who started this thing called Round Table in Austin on Tuesday mornings, and was just like, look, the Lord has me single for a reason, and I love pouring into women. And I didn't have the bandwidth to pour into as many women as I wanted to, as many women as were reaching out to get coffee or whatever. And so I just was praying. I was like, Lord, who should I want to start this thing. I feel like I can lead this thing. And I feel like I should. And who do you want in it? And he gave me names. And these girls, it's funny. You start off thinking like you're going to like lead this group. And I feel like some days they lead me. Like they just are incredible. Yeah. And we meet every Tuesday morning at 7, and they're all associated with Full Ride in some capacity, because that just kind of is how it worked out, where I felt like I wanted to. There were girls in my life that I had just really connected with from the studio as riders, and a couple people that worked there. But I wanted to know them deeper, but I didn't have the capacity to do it with a bunch of people. So the Lord like helped me narrow those people down of like, who am I going to invest in? And it's been so sweet. And I felt that need of like, okay, there's a need. I'm, a little bit older, have a little bit more life experience. Who can I narrow my focus? And these are those girls. And then, of course, not ironically, they're pouring into me, I feel like, more than I'm pouring into them. But it's been so sweet. So those are the two kind of things right now. And then there's other needs too that I just think of as an entrepreneur. I'm like, oh, I should start that. Or I should, I want to start that. And so those are things that I'm just excited for in the future. But those are 2 needs I would say that I definitely have like top of mind.
Well, I think what's so cool too is oftentimes these needs, these things we see, it's, I talk a lot in coaching, even just about your mindset. Your mindset is everything.
It is.
And these needs probably came from us
100%.
or somebody complaining
100%.
Before, right?
100%.
Wanting this and complaining, or why is there no community in Nashville? Why is there no good cycle studios? Why is there no
totally
Bible study? Why can nobody want to go deeper? And it's like that mindset shift of changing from complaining about what's missing and actively doing something.
That's good. Yeah.
To change.
Yep. Because it gets so honestly annoying to just sit around, and I get annoyed myself if I'm like sitting around enough to complain about something.
I know.
And I'm like, what am I just go do it?
No,
Kens?
truly.
Like, just go do it.
Truly.
See there, I talk to myself. Just go do it, Kens. Okay, that's how I talk to myself. And I do. I just have a very like I mentioned I think it was the other podcast ago episode, whatever. I'm a newly discovered 3, and it makes sense because I'm just like, just go do the thing.
Enneagram 3. Yeah.
Enneagram 3. Yeah. And so, and I'm so unafraid to fail at this point because I've failed so many times. So it really releases the pressure.
Heck yeah. It's a great place to be.
It's a great place to be. Just take it.
Just
Whatever. No, I love that. And that's a perfect segue because I want to ask you too, like, why is Park 1230? You have so much going on. You're a busy gal.
Yeah.
Why is Park 1230 important to you?
That's so funny. I was literally in this group chat with my high school girlfriends, and I was telling them about Park 1230. And one of the girls, it's like a video, like it's called Marco Polo.
Oh yeah.
It's like a little video chat.
Yeah.
And one of the girls sent a message back, and she was like, Sarah, I just want to know, how do you rest? Or do you rest? Yeah. And these are like all moms, like married with kids. And then another girl gets on. She's like, yeah, can you go back and answer Anna's question? Like, how do you rest?
Curious.
I was like, I don't know. No.
Yeah, we literally text each other at 5:30 in the morning every morning this week.
No, we did.
Did you sleep?
Which is why you brought me Starbucks, and that's so sweet. Thank you for my Starbucks.
Well, I mean, it was a need.
You're so sweet.
Saw a need.
Created it. I can do coffee. I love it. Why is Park 1230 important? Yeah. You're right. I am really busy, and I do have a lot going on. And I think it's also, it was still something that I felt so deeply that there was a gap and something was missing. And I felt like there are enough. I mean, I'm telling you, on the notes app, I was just writing down anybody I had coffee with. And it would be the most random people. Like I had a girl message me from listening to this podcast. It was like, hey, would love to meet you. Can we meet up? Yes. I'm talking to her. She's like, I just feel like I'm missing community. And my friend and I were talking about it. I'm like, what's your friend's name? She told me. So I wrote both of their names down.
So cool.
I'm at church. I'm talking to this guy, and he was like, yeah, I wish there was more co-ed things and da-da-da. I was like, okay. Wrote it down.
Good.
And he's like, my friends are married, but they don't have kids. And that, da-da-da. Okay. Well, they can.
So cool.
Okay, perfect. Write them down. And I just feel like we're all looking for this. And so I think it's so important to me because it's something I know other people want, but I do too. And it's not just for me. It's a need that I felt. And then again, I got annoyed at thinking about how much I wish it was there, that I just was like, let's do something about it.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool how it happened because it's all the Lord's plan, and it was his idea because again, I've heard of these people, their need that needed to be met. And I was journaling one day, and I was like writing the number. I wrote 30 because I was just like, how do I care for people in the 30s? Like that's my age. I'm in my 30s. I want to care for my people in this age range. So I wrote 30 and just like, how can I care for them? And then I thought about, okay, what if we hang at a park? So I wrote the word park. And then I was thinking about, maybe we meet there at 12. That's like right at afternoon time. Okay. So I wrote the number 12. So I have 30, park, and 12 on my journal. And I'm just looking at it. And I was like, 12:30. Because then people can grab lunch if they need to before maybe like 11, or have time to pack a picnic and bring it.
Yeah.
Okay, 12:30. So then I was like, okay, 12:30 at the park. And then I was like, what am I going to call it? And then when I wrote 12:30 at the park, I was like, Park 12:30.
So good.
And then when I wrote Park 12:30, I thought that sounds an awful lot like Mark 12:30. I was like, let me just give this a little Google.
Yeah. Let me just look for some evidence.
So I literally, I know I'm always on a hunt for delight.
Yeah,
hunt for evidence. So I look up Mark 12:30 and it's love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. And I was like, okay, Park 12:30, sponsored by Mark 12:30.
I love it.
And I truly just feel like that it was so, I mean, as I was journaling, it all happened one morning, 4 a.m. And I'm just like me and my coffee and my candle under my like red light. And I'm just writing these things. And it was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I was like,
the best.
God, thank you.
Yeah.
And then I felt like he was like, here you go do it, create it. Like I'm here. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
And so I think that was like a Tuesday or Wednesday. And I made the Instagram, started posting.
Yeah, you did.
And then I was like, oh no, it's only 4 days away. Is this enough time? And I just felt him being like, just do it. Whatever.
Just start
just
it.
Get it out there. And then I texted some of my people.
Yep.
Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself.
No,
but
so good.
I think that's why it's so important. I just felt like there's such a need for it, not just for me, for other people. And then the Lord just kept putting it on my heart.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
that's how he works.
It's time.
That's how he works.
So
flame gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. What was yours for Full Ride? Like, why did that become so important to you? Because there's 1,000 other cycle studios.
Yeah. No,
you were already teaching at one. So what made you get to the point that you were like, I have to create something?
Honestly, a little bit of like fear of regret at the time. I was like, I know I'm going to regret not trying this. But people, I mean, I love building a great culture. I love pouring into my people. I know that I wear my heart on my sleeve and it's my Achilles heel. I can't help it. One of my really good guy friends was like, I love you, but you cannot say that. Like I need you to like not have, he's a lawyer. So like, he's always like giving me like his lawyer advice. Yeah. He's like so great, but he's like, I love you, but like you wear your heart on your sleeve.
Stop it.
And I'm like, oh, I know.
It's such a beautiful thing.
I know. It really is. And I just, you know what? That's how I am. And so I think because that's how I am and that's how God made me, it's also what makes it hard to lead at times, you know? But I felt a need for people to experience the healing that I experienced in that cycle room. And as a previous athlete, there was something about the intensity of movement and just like the processing of our thoughts. Like there is something that truly, let's say the word magical or just monumental or spiritual, whatever you want to call it. I think that happens when you are moving your body and exerting it like at almost max capacity. Like something you process differently. And then imagine like really awesome music and the instructor says the right thing at the right time. It just releases you. And that's what my experience was right after college.
It's my
like
experience every time I come to your class.
Yeah, it's just like, and I mean, God has really blessed me by the way that he's made me an instructor. I feel like I'm a motivator and I've gotten better and better and better as an instructor because I've just been so open-handed to whatever he wants to do and being more vocal about my faith and just being more passionate about my faith and being more unapologetic about my faith and loving that and doing it in a way that's very just kind and soft and gentle, I think. But I think that people definitely notice something different when they come to Full Ride and they're like, I can't put my finger on it. And it's just the kindness from our staff. It's the joy from our clients. It's the way that we hoot and holler in a bike room and the music that's played. And I think people just, especially when you graduate from college or grad school or you move to Nashville, people are moving to Nashville all the time, kind of figuring out their life. What am I going to do? They're looking for community. And so we are essentially like a ministry community, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to believe in. And we're disguised as a spin studio, but we're just where people come and feel special. And that need was very evident here in 2018. And then, you know, we survived the pandemic, which was just by God's grace, you know, and actually really, we had our best year in 2021 and 2022. And so, I think obviously the Lord's hands are all over it, but it's important to me because I was that girl that was incredibly alone and depressed and sad, and I hated my body, and I didn't know like if I was ever gonna feel consistent joy, and that's my own spiritual walk in and of itself. But Full Ride was something that I created because I had that deep need, and then therefore that's why it's important to me, because I know there's people out there that have that same thing. And that's what gets me up in the morning and pushes me to keep going. So, yeah.
Were you scared to start it?
Terrified.
Okay.
I was stupid too. I was like, I think it was one of those things where I'm like, what am I doing? Like, how do I get an LLC? What's the process here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was terrified. Yeah.
What was it overcoming fear of man and what they would say, or was it overcoming your own personal fear, or what?
A little bit of both. I think it was more overcoming my own personal fear because I was so naive at the time where I wasn't really paying attention to what people were saying. I think now that I've had success, my fear is what will men say, because now that the studio is a success, we do have people that come in from all over the country to want to ride at Full Ride, to ride with specific instructors. More eyes are on me, so I'm more afraid at times about what people are going to say about what I do or how I run the business. But no, I was not as afraid of what man was going to say, but I was afraid of failing. But I think because I was like, look, I'm going to try this thing. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I have to go and just try. But it's funny. I was less scared then. I'm more scared now because now I feel like I have something to lose. Whereas before, I had nothing to lose. And we've iterated. We started off as Full Ride, and then we added cycling to it. We used to have an old logo, and then we started in a shipping container, and then we outgrew that, and then we went through so many different iterations and rebranded and moved into a beautiful studio, and so there's so many. And then every year there's more to lose.
But what's funny is like all your branding is do it scared. Or what is it? I bought a hat, faith over fear.
Yep.
Or faith pushes.
Let faith fuel you further.
Yeah. Let faith fuel you further.
Yeah. Cause I think that I want to encourage anyone that does run a business is like, your business does need to iterate. Like let it iterate. And it used to be, and it still is, like one of our slogan was and is hearts beat better together, which is true. We're better together. And let faith fuel you further. And both can exist, both of those slogans. So yeah. So definitely scared for sure.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, with that, talking about you just did it scared. Like what are tangible ways to build a solution to the problem around you?
Yeah. Well, I would first just say, like, identify what that solution is. And I guess there's two different ways you could go about it. If this is something that it's more of a hobby that you want to start that you don't want to make money from, it's a little bit different. But let's say if you wanted to start your own business that is a solution to a problem, I would say talk to the Lord about it first and foremost. And if it continues to grow louder and louder and louder, then speak up and talk to your people about it. Ask them about it, flush it out. Pros and cons list is always a great way to start.
Big pros and cons girl.
Big pros and cons girl. And just figure out what's needed. And then I would say create a business plan. Like figure out what the business is going to look like and rough business plan. And if you don't know how to do that, ChatGPT, great resource. Like it's so easy. It's so easy. Miller,
StoryBrand.
Yeah, StoryBrand too.
I feel like you and I use that a lot when we were at Ramsey.
Yeah, that is a great way.
That's such a good book to.
Yes.
I mean, that's big picture, big business, but yeah.
No, literally. And then I would just from there, like I would just do it scared. Literally have the idea, pray about it, really consult with your friends, build a business plan, and then just go for it. Like it's so easy to start a business these days. You get an Instagram handle, you start a website.
Yep.
It's easy to do that. I'm literally probably the most technology challenged person ever. I could not do or be where I am without my team.
Not true. Well, you are our social media.
Well, yeah.
Even if social media sponsored by Kenzie.
I love you. Oh my goodness, you're so funny. But just blessed with like the right people and grab those people. Like Full Ride is what it is because the hands of very special people over the years, whether they're with Full Ride or not anymore, have touched Full Ride and gotten it to where it is. And so I would just encourage you to seek the gifts in your friends and have them help you. They want to help you. And exchange services. That's how I started. I exchange things. Like I said, I'll give you free classes if you will help me figure out social media. I'll give you free classes if you can help me do XYZ. And people will do that. And then, I think it's just literally a sloppy something is better than a perfect nothing. And if we're trying to make this business perfect, you're never going to get it off the ground. And then you're going to be that person that's just constantly talking about this business you want to start and you never do it. Yeah. But you're going to learn so much. It is like drinking out of a fire hose. The first 3 years, I literally don't think I slept. But it was one of the most exhilarating times of my life. Yeah. So it's not like a super simple step-by-step process in the sense of like, well, here's step 1, step 2, step 3. It's just like, hey, here's a few things to go do, and then just go do it. You don't know what you don't know. You're going to learn as you go.
Yeah.
Get a Instagram handle, get a website, tell your friends, seek their help, and then just go, because that's how you're going to get that business going. God can't move on a parked car. He needs you to move. You need to move. So just start moving.
Yeah. So good.
That's what I would say.
And I love that you said the people that you were with, like, were there to help exchange services, believed in you. And I think that's what's so important is having people when you're starting something. I mean, okay, we both had a felt need, right? Like mine, I had this need of 20 people that I wrote down. You knew that Full Ride needed to happen because of who you were and what you experienced at a cycle studio. So that's great. We're going to reach somebody out there, but who are the people that can actually walk alongside with you in it is so important. And it's like that old phrase, you're a product of the 5 closest people to you. And so I think about, who are the 5 people closest to me that are going to help me start this? So even for Park 1230, I was like, okay, I have this list of 20 people that said that they're looking for this. I'm inviting all of them. Who are the people I can count on to be there? And then I know I'm going to tell them, hey, this is happening. This is what I'm thinking. The Lord gave me this Park 1230, sponsored by Mark 1230. And just, these are my ideas. I'm going to bring picnic blankets and spike ball, volleyball, like a place just to hang and fellowship. Are you in? And it's like, I told you that. And you were like,
oh, I'm in. I'll be there. I'm there. It's on my calendar. It's
literally,
on my calendar.
I think that's what you said. And I told another one of my friends, she was like, oh, perfect. Have it reoccurring every Sunday.
Yeah, same.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. I told my roommate, and it's just like, I knew those people were going to be there. And then it's like, so even if nobody showed up, I knew I had you 3. I knew I had you 4, and to know those people were going to be there and supported my vision. It's key. That even gave me courage and strength to be like, let's go. I've got people in my corner.
Totally. No, I honestly, there's no way Full Ride would exist without people that were cheering me on. My mom's a huge reason Full Ride is where it is. She was my biggest cheerleader always. She always just said, do whatever you want to do. Like, go chase the moon. Like, what's the worst that could happen? And that's how I was raised. And that's such a gift. And you need your people. And, I think too, just speaking to Park 1230, like, it's a need that I even have. Like, I want to continue to expand my circle and meet new people and just also be outside. So like what you're doing it's just validating what the Lord has put on your heart, because people are showing up. And even if it's 2 people, it's how I felt when I first started my business. I was like, what if nobody comes? Yeah. Even if it's 1 person, I can impact that 1 person. And
yeah. Like, okay, so what do you do when you don't feel motivated or you want to start something, but you don't have that motivation to do it? Like,
yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I definitely don't feel motivated a lot of the time. It ebbs and flows. And that's why I think it's so key. I have a life coach, and
aren't they just the best?
They're the best. No,
genuinely,
if you're listening, I have been in therapy since I was 22 on and off. And then I got a life coach, and I've had her for 13 months. And I have seen more change in 13 months in myself than I did in 10 years of therapy, on and on.
I think they're both really important.
They're both very important.
But
totally.
I'm so glad your life coach is
coaching. And it's the way that we've worked to change how I think. And so, yeah, I'm not motivated a lot. And last week I was in tears with you on the couch, like just feeling discouraged and drained and all these things. And so being able to, when I don't feel motivated and I'm having one of those days, the first thing I do is go, okay, is this a bad brain day? Like, did I get enough sleep? Is it that time of month? Like, I go through my like kind of checklist of like, okay, what could be going on that like is making me feel not motivated? And if it's like, it's that time of month, okay, well, there's grace there. Okay. And if it's like, did I get enough sleep? Okay, yeah, I did. Okay, well, then it must be something else. So I'm kind of like going through this checklist. And then there are days, and if I'm not feeling motivated and there's just nothing I can do about it, I'm like, okay, today's just going to be one of those days where I'm not going to believe anything that I think. And then there are days, if there's days where I'm like, I can't check out of work today, which is probably mostly every day. But there are times where I'm like, I'm just going to go take a nap, or I'm going to go for a walk and just cancel this meeting and take care of myself today. It's a luxury of owning your own business. But when I can't, I just tell myself, like, why are you doing this? Like, get to the root of why you're doing this. And some days that's just not enough. And I just rely on the Lord. I open up the word. I literally recite verses. I turn on worship. I'm like, okay, I need you because I need to go teach my third class of the day and I have nothing to give. And so I think that's why I really try to encourage my writers. I've been teaching my classes differently the last 13 months since learning about this and learning about the power of the mind and how we can rewire our brain. And just instead of coaching their bodies, I really try to coach their minds.
Yeah,
and
it's all so connected.
It's so connected. And so, yeah, I think that's kind of where I start. Then that's where I go. And if I'm not feeling motivated, I don't pay attention to how I feel because you can't trust it. And I just want people to know just because I run a business, and I am very involved in a lot of things. Most of the time I'm not motivated to do it. And that's where you got to kind of will yourself. And
I love the checklist of questions. Did I sleep? Did I do this? Am I that?
Yeah.
That's so good.
It's so important.
Because if not, I think we can act irrationally or act without thinking, right? We act out of emotion.
Totally.
And if we don't sit with our emotions, we don't let it get to our thinking stage. And thinking is where the truth happens.
Is. And that's why
good.
The importance of you and I talking about the last couple of weeks, just of knowing scripture and just being able to, like, when you get in those moments, just be like, okay.
Yep. What does the word say?
Literally, I did my first workout. I'm very humbled because my knees back in action and I can go work out. And I just heard like, okay, like I could not physically lift these weights. It was like, it wasn't even, I was at my lowest that I've ever lifted and I was just frustrated. And I just heard a verse in scripture. And so it's just like stuff like that I think can really help. And it allows for you to just give yourself a ton of grace on those days where if it is that time of month for you, or you're just exhausted, or you know what, I'm just not. I remember one day I was having a really hard day in my brain and I just said, you know what, I'm not going to believe the things that I think today. I'm just not going to believe them. Yeah. And I'm not going to give them any weight. And if they come in, I'm going to force them out and I'm just going to let today be what it is. And the last thing I'll say about that too is when I don't feel motivated, I call my people and I just ask, like, I tell them what's on my heart, and I voice memo a lot too. I'm a big voice memo gal. And I just say, hey, I just need to tell you this thing. I do it to Kenna all the time in Austin, and she's just been incredible. And like, and it's almost like a journal entry of me just being like, I'm feeling this thing. And then your friends and your people are always going to help you combat those lies and help you remember why you're doing what you're doing. And so it's key to lean on your people like we talked about earlier. So yeah. What about you? How do you ever doubt what you're doing currently?
Do I doubt?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, definitely I've had times of doubt. I remember, starting my life coaching business, I started it when I was living here in Franklin. And, I'm from here, so I know people. My parents are here. My parents are both coaches, counselors. So they have their own thing going. And I was like, oh, this is going to be good. Yeah. And I started off strong and I was so excited. And I think it was about 2 or 3 months after I launched my business, I decided I was going to move to Charleston. So that was good. And then I moved and I was like, nobody knows who Sarah Helton is. Like, I don't have any connections here, especially if my demographic is young women, like middle school, high school, college, young adult women. Yeah. Where am I going to meet them? Because I'm just hanging out with people my age at the gym or anywhere I can find them. So how am I going to meet young women? Yeah. And it was just slow. I didn't have clients for a few months. A couple of my Franklin girls wanted to meet virtually, so I started meeting virtual. But I just was like, is this what I was supposed to be doing? I felt so called to this. I felt like, I took all the classes. I did all the certifications. I started a business. I did a website. I did all that. Yeah. And is this not it? Because it's so slow. And sure enough, I just had to give it time, stay motivated, and find the things to do, get connected in the right groups. My business grew in Charleston, and then I was able to even move back here and keep some of my Charleston girls. So cool. And I still meet with them virtually. So cool. And so, yeah, I think there was times of doubt with that. And even, the other thing I've been talking about is Park 1230, starting that. I started it, and with all of those 20 people that said they were so excited and wanted this. And it was like Saturday night, Sunday morning, I started getting texts because I had told all of them about it. Everybody that was on my list, I sent them the Instagram handle and I texted them. And I just got all these texts about, hey, I don't think I'm going to make it, or this came up, or, granted, last Sunday was the first Sunday I launched it, and it was 47. I mean, you were there, It was cold. It was cold. I was wearing gloves. I think that was my first doubt, was like, oh my gosh, it's so cold. Nobody's going to come. Yeah. And then people started texting. This came up. This girl was like, oh, I'm helping a friend move. This girl, my mom's in town. This girl, or this guy, hey, I'd love to, but I'm training a client. You know, it's like all these things I was so excited about. And then I was just like, nobody wants us. They said they did, but they don't. And doubt set in, and I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But it's like, again, I had to go back to my people. You told me you would be there, and I knew I could count on you. You know, it's like, and I had that for several other girls and guys. And it just was like, I'm so used to only saying girls.
I
so
know.
It's kind of fun that there's guys
there
coming.
was boys there.
There are boys there, and bring more boys. And this is a great way to hang out, socialize.
You never know.
You never
can meet somebody
know.
at
You never know.
Park 1230.
But yeah, I think, so first of all, doubting that. And then also just even this week at Bible study, I was able to name something that I'm not sure I have named before, but I felt like, am I moving into a space, like me creating this community? Is this me labeling myself as like a single girl, and I'm moving into this like singles community, and I don't want to be in that community. I mean, like, I know I'm single and I am in that. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
like,
no, I know exactly what you're saying.
I didn't want to be like labeled as that. And so if I'm doing this, and even somebody asked me the other day, they were like, what's going to happen with you and Kenzie once y'all get married? Are y'all going to have to stop the podcast? I was like, it's not about singleness.
No.
It's about even if something happens, and how God is still good through it all. Granted, singleness is a lot of our listeners. Singleness is what we're going through.
Totally.
But it doesn't, like, that's not just this. But I was like, oh my gosh, I think the enemy started getting in my head.
Of course he did.
You're starting Park 1230. It's for only singles. Like, this is going to be
so
the rest of your life.
So nasty.
Oh, you started even if, like, this is what the Lord has you doing, is being in this singleness thing forever. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, should I stop doing all of this? I don't want to be this, but I'm like, what do I do? Start a married group? You know? And I had my friends, my girls at my Bible study, just remind me, like, you are called to this.
Yes.
This is something that you have brought up multiple times.
Yes, you
have yearned for, your friends have yearned for, and you know that the Lord literally called you to it. It's in your journal. Do it. And I was like, okay. So yes, I do doubt.
Yeah. Good. And you're human. Me too.
Yeah.
We all doubt. It's part of it. And I think that's where, the enemy, he is going to come after things that he knows glorifies the Lord 10 times more. And so someone once told me this, really wise woman, and she just said, the closer you get to the biggest blessings, the harder the enemy starts to attack. And so it's like when you're onto something and you're aligned with God's will and you're doing him and you're magnifying him. Yeah, life's tough. And I think that's a sign that it's like, you're doing all the right things. And you're speaking into people who are single. We've talked about this too on that singleness, like the first episode we did or the second one. Yeah. Where it's like, I love when my married friends are telling me, like, trying to empathize with me in my singleness, or when I can hear like stories about people that are married, about what it was like for them to be single. But I take it so much different. I would have taken it so much differently for someone that was actually single. And so it's the same thing in marriage, right? Like, when we are married, it'll be so nice to talk to other married people, but it's hard. We can't speak on that because we're not married, but we are single. And so we're just doing this thing that the Lord put on our hearts to pour into people that are also single. Yeah. So we don't want to be labeled as this, but like, we are single, and we're not going to be single for forever, and we'll see what comes next. We're not.
Speak it.
We're not. I'm speaking it, baby. We are not.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's cool too, because it's like, if this is this whole episode, if something is missing, create it. And that's what's missing. That's what's been missing for me. You've shared what's been missing for you. And so we create it. And then what's cool is you navigate as you go.
Yeah,
and if one day I realize, wow, this isn't suiting me right now, or I have 6 kids, I don't have time to take care of Park 1230. Literally, great, you hand it off to somebody else who can,
That's and exactly it.
You can't do full ride. Great, you give it to somebody else. But it was a need at the time, and you created it. And
exactly.
So I hope that y'all feel encouraged, anyone listening, that y'all just feel encouraged to think about, what are the gaps? What's missing? Where do you feel whole? What has the Lord been pressing on your heart? Are there areas that you feel you're maybe complaining about more and realizing, wow, I'm complaining about this so much. Maybe I should do something about it. And I encourage you to do something about it. Like, if there's any way Kenzie or I can help, reach out to us. We love, like, my brother called me the other day having an idea about something. And I was like, oh my gosh, talk to me. Like, I love this. I love dreaming about things. I love casting a vision. And I do that in my sessions. I do it with friends. And just for all of our, even if girls and boys, anyone listening, Again, I just always forget to talk about the boys.
I know. Sorry, lads. We love you.
But all y'all, boys and girls, people who are listening.
Also, if there's guys listening to this podcast, that's sick. I'm impressed.
Yeah, we love you all.
We love you already.
And let us know if you are.
Yeah, seriously. Let us know what you want to learn and hear about.
But yeah, anyways, we just want to encourage you. Do the thing. Do it scared.
Love it. And remember, even if something is missing, you can